Welcome everyone to the location and fight guide for Adam the Firstborn. The boss can be found in Dr. Blackbrew's castle as shown on the map with the blue marking. For this boss fight I use the Honor's Legacy, Amulet of the Blade Master, Phantom's Veil, the Grim Knight chest guard and leggings, and Dracula's Grim boots and gloves. I also used the Blood Rage, Power Surge, Veil of Chaos and Crimson Beam abilities. In order to access Dr. Blackbrew's castle, you will need to use an EMP. The outside gate can be skipped when using the Batform ultimate ability. However, the castle door cannot be skipped and an EMP is required. When you enter the room and the boss has an electric shield around him, you will need to pull the lever upstairs to activate the boss. This is a really hard-hitting boss. I would recommend drinking a few Blood Rose potions just in case if you need some extra healing. Keep in mind however that if you take damage, the potion will be cancelled. This boss has 2 phases and 12 main key points. At the start of the fight, 8 electric coils will be activated around the room, firing an electric current in between them. When you walk into these electric currents, you will receive a small amount of damage every half a second and also get slowed. I would recommend trying to destroy as many electric coils as you can to give you extra space within the room. After some time, a destroyed electric coil will be reactivated. The boss will try to grab you, followed by throwing you across the platform. When hit and you land, you will receive a large amount of damage and get stunned for about 2 seconds. Try to keep moving around the boss to avoid getting grabbed. The boss will stomp the ground, creating 8 ground projectiles that will move outwards around the boss. When hit by the stomp, you will receive a very large amount of damage. When hit by a ground projectile, you will receive a decent amount of damage. Try to move away from the boss and sidestep these ground projectiles. The boss will also use his weapon 3 times in a row to fire ground projectiles. First by 2 swings, creating a single ground projectile, and followed by a ground slam, creating 3 ground projectiles. When hit by a ground projectile, you will receive a decent amount of damage. Try to move around the boss or sidestep these ground projectiles when at range. When the boss puts his weapon into the air and charges it with an electric current around it, the boss is about to cast down thunder strikes. When hit, each thunder strike will deal a large amount of damage. Try to move or use your dash ability to avoid this damage. The boss will also cast a barrier around him for about 3 seconds. If you hit this barrier, electric orbs will fly outwards. When hit, each orb will deal a decent amount of damage. Try to avoid hitting this barrier or sidestep these orbs. The boss will also charge at you, followed by slamming the ground with both his hands, causing spikes to erupt from the ground. When hit, you will receive a very large amount of damage, get knocked into the air, and when you land, you will be incapacitated for about 1 second. Try to spot this charge and use your dash ability to avoid this damage. When the boss steps his weapon into the ground, the boss will summon a lot of electric circles around him. When these circles activate and you are inside of these circles, you will receive a decent amount of damage every half a second. But keep in mind that if you stay too long inside of these circles, you could receive an extreme amount of damage or death. Try to move or use your dash ability to move away from these activated circles. These are all the mechanics from phase 1. I will continue explaining the tactics when phase 2 begins. Once you bring the boss to 0 health, phase 2 will start. The boss will lose his mechanical arm, replacing it with an electric one. The boss will also gain 40% of his health back. Some of the abilities are similar as the previous abilities from phase 1. However, he will perform it much quicker with a different animation. There are also, however, a few new abilities. When the boss puts his electric arm into the air, the boss will summon an electric laser down from the sky that will follow you around. When you are hit, you will receive a decent amount of damage every half a second. Try to move or use your dash ability as soon as you can, because staying inside of this laser for too long would lead to an extreme amount of damage or death. When the boss jumps into the air, after a few seconds the boss will jump back down and a big circle will be placed on the ground where he will be landing. When you are inside of this circle when he lands, you will receive a very large amount of damage, get knocked into the air and get incapacitated for about 1 second when landing. Try to use your dash ability to get away from this landing zone. The boss will also fire 2 electric ground projectiles in a circular path your way. When hit, each projectile will deal a decent amount of damage and incapacitate you for about 1 second. Try to sidestep these projectiles. After killing this boss, the boss will drop the soul shard of the monster. This soul shard can be placed in your jewelry slot, giving you 31.9 extra spell power, 15% weapon attack speed, 15% increased damage to vampires, and replacing your current ultimate ability with the Eye of the Storm ultimate ability. If you want to repair a soul shard, you will need to recharge it by killing a primal blood soul during the Rift Incursion events. However, in PvP, if a soul shard runs out of durability, it will be destroyed. Also on PvP servers, only one soul shard of each kind can be active at once. You can now also place the Pedestal of the monster. In this pedestal, you will be able to store the soul shard of the monster, as you cannot place the soul shard in any other storage boxes. And now a quick preview of the Eye of the Storm ultimate ability. Once activated, you will knock back nearby enemies and conjure a thunderstorm around you. Lightning bolts will strike down in the surrounding area, dealing 100% magic damage and inflict static. The storm will last 5 seconds and lightning will strike down in the area for 37 times during these 5 seconds. And finally, you will also unlock Dracula's Leggings in 4 sets of armor to fit your style. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you want to see some live content or have any questions about the game, you can always come and visit me at twitch.tv/Jiraku. Thank you again very much for watching, and I see you all next time.